Freedom is secured not by the fulfilling of one's desires, but by the removal of desire. These words of Chrysippus, one of the greatest exponents of Stoicism, encapsulate the essence of his philosophy. As a disciple of Cleanto Diasos, Chrysippus was not only a Stoic philosopher, but also partisan of Stoicism, fiercely attacking its enemies. Taking over the direction of the Stoa after Cleanto's death, Chrysippus's activity as a scholar quickly earned him a reputation comparable to that of Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. In this video, we will explore Chrysippus's relationship with Stoicism and delve into his philosophical system, which was a kind of naturalized pantheism that emphasized the role of reason and the importance of independence in achieving happiness. Chrysippus was a Greek philosopher born in Soli, Cilicia in 280 BC and died in Athens in 207 BC. He was a disciple of Cleanthes, who was the successor of Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. Chrysippus studied under Cleanthes for 19 years and succeeded him as the head of the Stoic school in Athens. Chrysippus was a prolific writer and is said to have written more than 705 books. Unfortunately, most of his works have not survived, and only fragments remain. It is said that Chrysippus died of laughter after he saw a donkey eating his fermented figs. He told a slave to give the donkey undiluted wine to wash them down, and then, having laughed too much, he died. Nevertheless, he is considered one of the most important Stoic philosophers, second only to Zeno himself. Chrysippus was not only a prominent figure in Stoicism, but also a fervent defender of the doctrine of the Stoa, particularly against its academic opponents. He assumed leadership of the Stoa after the death of his mentor, Cleanthes, in 232 BC, and quickly gained a reputation comparable to that of the school's founder, Zeno of Citium. Chrysippus is best known for his systematic and widespread dissemination of Stoic doctrine. It is said that he wrote over 700 books, although only fragments of his works have survived. His philosophy was a kind of naturalized pantheism, where freedom disappears in a world where the law of fate predominates. His moral system is pure and elevated, and reason should govern life, placing the wise person above passions. Happiness lies in the independence of the wise person. One of his most famous contributions to Stoic philosophy is the technique of premeditatio malorum, which involves contemplating potential misfortunes to prepare oneself for them. Some of his major works include On Virtue, On the Passions, and On Fate. The Stoic philosopher Chrysippus is often credited with developing the technique of premeditatio malorum, which translates to premeditation of evils, or premeditation of adversity. This practice involves imagining and mentally preparing for potential setbacks or negative events in advance. By contemplating and accepting the possibility of adversity, individuals can develop greater resilience and emotional control when such situations inevitably arise. The premeditatio malorum technique is considered a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and has been used by many individuals, from soldiers and athletes to entrepreneurs and artists, to help them maintain a sense of equanimity and perspective in the face of challenges. Chrysippus's moral system emphasizes the importance of reason in governing one's life and achieving happiness. According to his philosophy, the wise person is one who is able to control their emotions and desires through the use of reason and is thus able to achieve a state of inner peace and contentment. This is because, for Chrysippus, true happiness is not found in external circumstances or material possessions, but rather in the inner state of the individual. Therefore, he believed that the key to happiness is living in accordance with nature and accepting the world as it is, rather than trying to control or change it. This philosophy is closely tied to the Stoic ideal of apatheia, or freedom from passions, which emphasizes the importance of self-control and detachment from external factors. Chrysippus's moral system and conception of happiness have had a lasting influence on Western philosophy and continue to be studied and debated by scholars and practitioners of philosophy today. Chrysippus is famous for his idea of oikeiosis, which refers to the process of appropriation or affinity with oneself and the external world. This concept was central to his ethical theory and involves the recognition of oneself as a rational being and the extension of that recognition to others and to the natural world. As Chrysippus explains, each person is born with a disposition toward his own welfare, and this is the starting point of the concept of oikeiosis. This idea of oikeiosis can be seen as an extension of the Stoic belief in the unity of all things, as it emphasizes the interconnectedness and interdependence of all beings. Furthermore, this concept highlights the importance of recognizing the common humanity in others and treating them with respect and compassion. The concept of oikeiosis is central to Chrysippus's moral philosophy, and it is often described as the natural inclination or appropriation of oneself to others. Through oikeiosis, we come to recognize the value of others as equal to our own, and learn to act in ways that benefit the community as a whole. This concept is not only limited to human beings, but is extended to animals and the environment. As Chrysippus writes, every animal loves itself and its own impressions, but it also has a natural tendency to love other animals of the same species, and it naturally seeks the good of the species as a whole. Therefore, oikiosis is not only a mechanism for developing moral character, but also a means for fostering empathy, compassion, and a sense of interconnectedness with the world around us. It is through the practice of oikiosis that we can achieve a sense of inner peace and contentment while contributing to the well-being of others. Chrysippus' ethos is that of the physiological criterion, or criterion of adaptation. This idea suggests that what is natural for us is what is in accordance with our physiology. Chrysippus argues that nature is not separate from reason, nor reason from nature, but the two are blended and joined together. In other words, what is rational is what is in accordance with our nature, and what is in accordance with our nature is what is rational. This means that the rational life is not one that goes against our natural desires, but rather one that satisfies them in a rational way. As Chrysippus puts it, nature gives us appetites and impulses, and it is our business to use them in a rational and appropriate way. Chrysippus believed that the physiological criterion was a way to reconcile the apparent conflict between reason and nature. He argued that our natural impulses and desires are not irrational in themselves, but only when they are not controlled by reason. Therefore, reason should not suppress our natural desires, but rather regulate them in a rational way. As he puts it, it is not the role of reason to extinguish the natural impulses, but to subject them to its own control and guidance. In this sense, the rational life is not one of asceticism or self-denial, but rather one of self-control and self-regulation. The concept of autarky is central to the Stoic philosophy and is closely related to the notion of self-sufficiency. According to Chrysippus, autarky involves the ability to be self-sufficient in all aspects of life, both external and internal. The Stoics believed that external circumstances, such as wealth, fame, or social status, were irrelevant to true happiness, and that true happiness could only be achieved through inner virtue and self-sufficiency. Chrysippus states, autarky is the power to live a complete life without needing anything outside oneself. In other words, autarky means being independent and self-reliant, not dependent on external circumstances or other people for one's happiness and well-being. By cultivating autarky, the Stoic individual is able to maintain inner peace and contentment regardless of external circumstances. According to Chrysippus, individuals should strive for self-sufficiency in all aspects of their lives, including their emotions, desires, and judgments. This concept is closely related to the Stoic notion of living in accordance with nature, as it involves aligning oneself with one's own nature and striving for inner harmony. Chrysippus believed that true freedom and happiness could only be achieved through self-rule and self-mastery. As he stated, "For freedom is secured, not by the fulfilling of men's desires, but by the removal of desire." This idea of autarky also ties into the Stoic idea of accepting what is within one's control and letting go of what is not. As Chrysippus wrote, "The only way to happiness is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." In conclusion, Chrysippus of Soli was a highly influential figure in the development of Stoicism, and his ideas continue to be studied and debated to this day. His emphasis on rationality, ethics, and the pursuit of virtue and happiness through the use of reason and self-control has inspired countless individuals throughout history. From his insights on the nature of the universe and our place within it, to his system of morality and the importance of premeditatio malorum, Chrysippus left a lasting legacy that continues to shape our understanding of philosophy and the human experience.